right, happy Tuesday. I have a Tuesday tune-up workout or Tuesday tune-up stretch for you, um, based on what I just did for my workout, which was the elliptical trainer. It's my favorite machine to use at the gym or at my house, which is where I work out. Um, and one of the things that I have always struggled with is having tight hips. Um, my hamstrings and calves have graduated to not really being the issue that they used to be back in the days when I used to run a lot. But now it's mostly in my hips where I'm really tight. And I'm very jealous of anyone who can just like reach down and touch their toe. I mean, I'm warmed up and I'm about 6 inches away from touching my toe. So, those of you who are naturally flexible, I'm very jealous of you. And one of these days, I hope to be a more flexible person considering the amount of work I put into it. But um, a simple stretch for your hips is a variation on the pigeon, which is a yoga um, pose. And it's actually one of my favorites, but I don't really feel like getting down on the floor because I'm hot and sweaty and I don't feel like getting my mat out. So I'm going to do this version, which is an elevated pigeon or hip stretch. It's great to do if you work in an office and you spend your days sitting, or again, if you just don't feel like getting down on the floor. And there was another reason I like doing it. Oh, I like doing this version as well because I really feel it in my IT band, and can really stretch out my lats a little bit at the same time. So you want to get like a piece of furniture, or I don't know, like whatever you have in your house. It's approximately hip high. That chair is way too high. The piano bench or the organ bench is a little bit too low. So this is about the perfect height. And all you're going to do is stand in front of it and bring your leg up onto the piece of furniture that you're using to stretch. Um, and try to get your leg at a 90-degree angle. If that doesn't feel good, like if you feel it pulling on your knee or you're just that tight, it's okay if your foot is closer to the other leg. But you really kind of want this 90-degree angle from ankle to knee and knee to hip. And all you're going to do is slightly lean forward. I don't want this, no slumping, okay? Because that doesn't really do the job. But you want to, if you need to hold on to something. And I figure most people's desks are about the right height if you're doing this at work. And I do recommend that you do this a couple times a day if you do sit a lot. And if you're using the chair or if it's close to a wall, you can press yourself kind of away. But you're also, so you're kind of pushing your hips away, but leaning forward from the chest. And that should feel really good. And if you're kind of tight in the calves or in the hamstring on the other side, you may feel it stretch in there as well, though my foot is not straight. So, and as you feel yourself stretching a little bit more, you can actually bring your hands down to touch the surface that your leg is on. But try to keep your back straight, no rounding. Try to keep your back straight. And if you really want to, you can lift this arm up and away. All right, that feels pretty good. And all you're gonna do is switch sides. Oh, this leg is obviously much tighter, so I had to help myself get that leg up there. And make sure your other leg is straight so your hips stay square. And again, try for that 90-degree angle, just like this. And again, lean forward from your chest, not from your waist. So push yourself forward. Again, you can use a wall or the back of your chair and push your hips away while bringing your chest forward. And again, you can reach down and touch that surface that you're resting your leg on. And you may need to do this a couple of times depending on how tight your muscles are. Like I need to do my right leg at least a couple of times because it's pretty tight compared to my right. So, and from the front, it's gonna look, well, it's not gonna look that much different, except for you can see that I'm trying to keep everything in line. And again, lean forward. And I have also found that if you feel a tight spot, but you can't really stretch it very well, you're going to push your hips in that direction so that it stretches a little bit more in that one spot that you want. But you don't want to lean over. You just want to kind of slide your hips over like an inch or two. And it might be easier to do if your hands are on the surface that your leg is on. Anyway, this feels really great. It's one of my favorite stretches. When I'm working on my computer, I often use this as a stretch. I do this a lot too, again, to stretch out my glutes and also my calves. Because I don't really feel this in my hamstrings that much, but you might. So there's 2 stretches instead of 1. Anyway, do this stretch pretty often and you will learn to love it. And maybe next Tuesday tune-up, I'll show you the pigeon on the floor. All right, have a great day.